Alright guys, so I had already shown you how to do the vertical 3D letters in 1-point perspective, and now we want to think about, like, if I want my letters going back in space just on one diagonal line, how is that going to work? And so it's a little bit different, because with these vertical letters, they're all sitting at the same distance away from the vanishing point, right? They're all sitting whatever, 50 feet, 100 feet, 2 miles away from the vanishing point, but they're all like stacked up in like a totem pole in front of us, stacked up on a line in front of us at the same distance away. But if I want to work going back diagonally, my letters are going to be getting closer to the vanishing point as they move back in space, right? And so I can't just make them all the same size like I did here. Okay, so that would be telling me that the letters are getting larger as they're going back into space. If all the letters are the same size in real life, they need to get smaller as they head back in space towards the vanishing point, okay? And so to lay that out, I need to make my first letter, and then I need to start finding all my guidelines that head back, because that's going to tell me where the rest of my letters belong, okay? And I erase the 3D-ness of my N here so I can show you how to get this laid out. So I found all my points on my N. I'm going to have these lines heading back towards the vanishing point. I'm touching the point on my letter and touching my vanishing point and heading back. And I'm not doing any cheating like we did up on the vertical letters, because I need these lines to tell me where the rest of my letters fit in. Oops. Head back into space there, and we'll grab this sneaky little guy. There, okay? Alright, this should be the front of all my letters fitting in this space here. This is going to be like the practice for putting in your city block. Oh, and you can see how they're getting really small as they're heading back into space. There we go. Okay? And so now, same thing applies here. Whatever happened in the front needs to happen in the back. Okay? So we did that before with a 1/4 inch. Went like this. We cut it off here. And we scoot it back here, and he's a diagonal line, 1/4 inch back. And that tricky horizontal line on top looks good there. And maybe find that guy too, just to cut him off a little bit smaller and make him look a little fancier. Okay, so this is where things get really tricky or confusing. Like, I would say this diagonal is kind of the easiest and kind of the hardest. It's the easiest for doing buildings. It gets a little confusing when it comes to letters, because our letters aren't turned facing forwards towards us like they would be if they were written down here, which I'll show you in a second. They're actually turned and they're stacked up like dominoes behind our letter N, okay? And so instead of kind of what we did up here, where whatever happens in the front happens to the back, we're actually copying this line that moves back in space here. So we've got this horizontal line here. We're copying that horizontal line on all of our points of our letter going back in space here. Okay, so I'm making horizontal lines all the way back on the tops of my letters. Okay, and then I actually am going to do it to the bottom of my letters too. So finding that bottom point of my letter, pulling it back, bottom point, pulling it back, bottom point, pulling it back. Okay, and now I'm going to be cutting my letters off. And so here it's curved in the front, so it's going to be a little curved in the back. Here it's straight in the front, so it's going to be straight in the back. Let's bring that one in a little bit, I think. Here it's straight in the front, so it needs to be straight in the back. And This one, my G way back there is round again. So I'm going to have a round letter in the very, very back again. Okay? And then I've got one more step here because we cut off the bottoms already. So I've got one more step, and that's just filling in the back side of these letters here. All of mine are straight. That R is a little rounded, so I made that a little rounded. That G's a little rounded. So it looks like I've got almost like domino or little letter buildings that are stacked up here. Okay? If I want to be fancy, I can find insides of my letters like we practiced with bubble letters before. Anything round inside like that. It's going to have that little echo inside. Alright. And then I can get rid of my guidelines. Alright, and that is how you head back diagonal. Once you figure out which direction your lines need to go, it's pretty easy, but it is really strange looking at first. So that is it for that one. I'm going to stop and take a little break, and then I'm going to show you how to make words that go across the front here in this space, and words that go right on the horizon line. Because those are both a little bit different too. Alright.